Okay, we're here today because we are investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred this morning. I'm going to give you guys some basic details. Obviously, everything's still preliminary information. We're just gathering. Investigators have just begun to canvass their scene. We were called here to the area of 300 East Clarendon. The call came in somewhere around 11:20 this morning. A woman called police saying that she was in her backyard feeding her livestock when she observed a man trying to jump her fence to get into her property. She called 911 and officers responded pretty quickly. Officers were on scene within just a couple of minutes. As officers were arriving on scene, they encountered a man in the alley believed to have been involved. The officers began to give the man commands, and the man did not comply with the commands. At this point, he reached into his waistband and produced a handgun, and this is when the officer-involved shooting occurred. Two officers fired their weapons in response to this threat and ended the threat. The man was provided some first aid on scene, and ultimately he was pronounced by the fire department on scene.
Can you give us any indication of how old this man was, who he was?
Not at this time. Very preliminary, like I said. The investigators are just on scene, and that will come through the investigation.
Are you able to say if it's an adult?
Yes, adult male.
And when you say he produced his handgun, did he at all fire his weapon?
So it's obviously it's too early to tell. That will come out of the investigation. So I don't have that information at this time. No, unfortunately, I don't have that information. Investigators are going to go ahead and canvass the neighborhood. They're going to do what they do. They're going to knock on every door. They're going to talk to everybody they can. They're going to look for video. But no, we don't have information on why he was trying to jump into this woman's yard.
Did she prevent him from coming into the yard? Is that why he was still in the alleyway? Or did he jump in and then try to leave before officers?
I don't have that information. That's going to be an interview that investigators will conduct with that woman.
Any other injuries? Was she injured at all?
No, as far as I know, nobody else was injured in this incident. There's no threat to the community right now. Obviously, we can see that Weldon is shut down from 7th Street until about 3rd. So this area will be shut down for some time. Avoid the area. The other streets around there and the major 7th Street is not affected, so that shouldn't affect people.
Was this house on the Clarendon Street or on the Weldon Street?
The call for service was on Clarendon Street.
And that's where it was at?
Yes. I believe the incident took place in the alley behind there.
Is he thought to have lived in the area?
I don't have that information at this time. Like I said, we have to identify him, find out why he was in the area, and anything that we can find out about this incident.
And the woman didn't know him at all?
It does not appear so at this time.
You have a vehicle there's an officer behind a vehicle over there. It looks like been an accident. Does that relate to this at all on Clarendon over here?
An officer involved in an accident? No.
There was a car where the cop is behind a vehicle that's been in an accident on Clarendon.
Oh, I have no information that there is any vehicle involved in this incident, so that might be an unrelated situation.
Do you mind just stating your first name?
Yep. Sergeant Myra Reeson, Mayra Reeson.
Any information about the officers involved at this time? How many years
I don't have that information offhand. Obviously, we got to let investigators conduct their thorough investigation. That will come out. As always, per our transparency policy, we will put out as much information as we can in the 14th day and put together, a critical incident briefing like we always do. So that will come out, and then later today, once we get the details, we will put out a media advisory.
There was an officer-involved shooting last night as well, kind of down towards South Phoenix. Do you just have like a message about the fact that this has happened now twice in that short time frame?
Yeah, it's tragic. It's always tragic when these incidents happen for everybody involved. Yes, this is the second officer-involved shooting that has occurred in less than 24 hours. I mean, maybe even 12 hours, considering. Pretty close to that. Yeah, it's concerning. This is the 16th officer-involved shooting that we've had this year. One is too many, to be honest. But we will continue to respond to any call for service. Like I said, we were out here because a community member called us. They were in need, and unfortunately, this is one of the results of that. 16, I think, is too many. We are trending down. We were, I believe, 23 at this point last year, but we'd like to see that closer to 0 in a year. Until we get there, we'll continue to do the work that we do. All right.